Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here. Barely.
It looks like lightning on the set.
Lightning.
It does.
Hi, I'm
it
Peggy
does.
Burton.
And I'm Jim Puller.
And we're just glad to be alive. I
Yes,
mean, I
we
am.
are.
I don't know how
Yes,
you
we
guys
are.
feel about it. Anyway.
Did you have fun at Bonnaroo?
Are you kidding?
Did you do naked body painting while you were
Of
over there?
course. You know
Did
I
they have
would.
that over there?
Evidently they did. Philip was telling me that the hotter it got, the fewer clothes people were
Well,
wearing.
that's what happens out there in the fun world.
In the fun world.
I don't mean any disrespect by this, Peggy, but there is no telling what I would pay to see you do the naked body painting thing.
I'm not sure it'd be worth it.
Man.
Oh, there's a time when I might have done it. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully we're older and wiser.
Older and wiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are,
Yeah.
I think.
No, I guess I would have not done it.
John's come along. John has really come a long way, because I can remember him when he'd have done anything, pretty much.
Well,
anything.
that's the pot calling the kettle black. Mr. Climb over the mountains through the woods, poison ivy and rattlesnakes to go to Atlanta in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That might bring up...
He and his buddy Eddie Ray. Eddie Ray came to Knoxville when I was going to UT up there and slept in my bathtub for a week on his way somewhere. Who in the world knows where he was going?
Slept in your bathtub.
But yeah.
John lived in, and I guess we've probably told this story before, like we have 1,000 others, but John lived in Normandy, and in the
On a
woods.
hill.
Yeah,
In an
woods.
A-frame house right in the middle of
Yeah.
Rattlesnake Hill.
And I am terrified of snakes, any kind of snake. I don't know what possessed me to walk through those woods in the middle of the night. And I guess was there a trail that led to that
Not
house?
the way y'all came.
I mean,
The way to come to the house was
That
to
was
go to
because you were... What were you smoking or drinking that night?
the way you're supposed to come to the house is go to the school and walk through the field and go across the bridge up to the house. And y'all had gone over to Johnny Miner's house and walked all the way across the top of the hill through the rattlesnakes and rocks and blackberry bushes. They looked like they'd been through World War III when they showed up. Y'all want to go to Atlanta?
Did you go?
Call Pookie. Don't call Pookie because Gazelle will answer the phone. Sneak down there and get him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Shoot, man.
Did you ever get any ticks going through the woods like that?
I think that's the only time
You know
I
that's
did it.
dangerous.
I don't know what
It was
it.
way out of character for Fuller to come climbing through the woods.
Yeah, it was.
Always way too clean.
Yeah. Oh,
well.
you guys.
I remember a couple of times where we'd have to park at the school, and when the big rain and that creek would be up going into the river, and have to swim across that field to get to that bridge.
Oh, really?
To get to the bridge to go up to the house.
And you did that?
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to go home.
See,
Well, it did that at my house. We lived on the farm, and my dad often got rained out and couldn't get across the creek to sleep in the barn.
Yeah.
But you got to take care of the animals. You know, that's more important
Yeah.
for
They
the
don't
family.
swim as good as we do. Well, I don't know. They probably do. Some of them do.
Some of them do.
You know, I hope everybody had a good time at Bonnaroo. All of our boys came back, which is sometimes,
Crawling back, but they
sometimes
got
they
back.
don't, but they all did.
how long has Bonnaroo been around? 16, 18 years? Something?
17 years.
17,
years.
okay.
Which is
yeah.
pretty amazing.
Well, I've noticed that our crew has grown up immensely since the first one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like now they come back to work on Monday.
I
It's
know,
like,
they actually
normal, and sometimes.
Used to is about Wednesday till we caught up.
Oh,
with them.
Sometimes it's been a week or 10 days before we ever found Andrew.
Yeah.
You know,
have
so-
sent out a search.
Sorry, Andrew. They're picking on you.
We always do.
Yeah.
We always do. Andrew's easy to pick on.
Yeah, he gives you lots of opportunities, doesn't he?
And
Has he got some good footage for today, or we
yeah,
got-
we've got some footage, all
Good.
kinds of footage. They're over there for 4 days. They better have some footage. But I was really surprised and interested and glad that Nashville and Bonnaroo, of course, Nashville had Country Music
Sure.
CMA Week this week, but Nashville and Bonnaroo have hooked up in the fact that the Grand Ole Opry on Sunday took over a stage at Bonnaroo, and broadcast live
Oh, that's neat.
from Bonnaroo on WSAM AM.
Yeah,
And they
that's
moved the
fabulous.
Opry show down to Bonnaroo on Sunday afternoon and took over a stage down there and had the whole Opry deal down there on Sunday night.
It would be interesting to know how many people hit Middle Tennessee with a CMA
Oh,
thing
Lord,
and
there's
with
no telling.
Bonnaroo.
Well, it's one of the busiest days of
But-
the year. The day after both
Yeah.
of those events, as far as the airport goes.
And
Yeah,
I didn't
people
hear of
fly.
any huge traffic mishaps or anything like that.
Well, Bonnaroo has it figured out.
Yeah, I
After
think they
about the
do.
first 2
Yeah.
or 3 years, 5 years, they got it figured out, and it's seamless now. I mean, used to the traffic was backed up
Oh, yeah.
almost to Chattanooga.
I remember the first year. We were trying to do a rehearsal
Yeah.
somewhere and we couldn't get through.
But Nashville is, I mean, the traffic up there on a daily basis is
Oh, yeah.
horrible.
I don't know what's going
And
to
so
happen
that
there.
influx into that, I mean, it's a mess.
It's huge.
And parking, I mean, that's why a lot of people I know, I have my brother and some of his buddies, sometimes Bobby they'll go and they'll park outside of Nashville and call Uber
That's what
and
you
drive
almost
into
have to
town
do.
and go
Yeah.
to a pool tournament or go downtown on the alley and go to the street, Broadway down there and hang around. And
Because
then
if you're
when
not
they get
careful,
ready to
you
go
park
home,
your car and you never find it again.
go home, they call Uber and they take them back to down there about Smyrna somewhere where they park the car and
Right.
going home. You don't
Yeah.
have to deal with it.
That's probably a good idea.
Well,
yeah.
because, a parking spot, if you can find a parking spot
It's
in
almost-
downtown
yeah.
Nashville,
You often have
It's
to get in a
extremely
hotel and
expensive.
then walk 4 miles and then lose your car. I've done that.
extremely expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I think just to park your car is $20 or $30, maybe more. I don't know.
yeah, if you can find a space. I know my buddy Tim, who plays at my songwriting friend, partner, who plays at Tootsie's. That's one of the things they get when he gets with that gig is a parking
Is a
spot.
parking spot.
They've got a parking garage where he has a designated parking spot. Because if you don't, there's no way you can
can't
get in there to play.
I know.
Right.
It's hard to hear everything. You almost have to be in a hotel downtown to even
And
get to
all
stuff.
of these stars have opened up. The other night during the CMT Awards, Blake Shelton's opened up Old Reds, and which is a 3-story honky tonk, and then Big and Rich, John Rich has opened up some redneck thing down there, which is a building 3 stories tall, and they're on the rooftops. And I'm sure it costs more to get on the rooftop than it does to be in the middle level. And I mean, it's honky tonking down there, big time.
As it should be.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
it should be.
Let them have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting the traffic anymore, so I'm out of the scene for a while.
So we have Bonnaroo, which you see everything and anything.
Oh, yeah.
Nashville downtown's the same way, filled with all of these different types of people and fans. We have Ms. Norton here today to do a job fair about that's going to happen this next week, and so this is the ranting of an old man.
Oh, okay. We're ready.
If you're a dude who can't find a job, well, quit walking around looking like a slob. Life might give you a big surprise if you put up your phone and open your eyes. Pull up your pants and listen. Act like you care. Ain't no CEO wants to see your underwear. It's not always cool to have holes in your clothes, grommets in your ears, and a bone in your nose. You wonder why you can't find work to do? Well, look in the mirror. Would you hire you? You got to be clean to open the door. You need to go dressed like you've been there before. Want to know how to get what you're missing? Pull up your pants and listen. You can speak your mind on your own time, wear what you want when you play, then work the plan and give the man his 8 hours a day. Join the square, and you'll get there with minimal ass kissing if you just pull up your pants and listen.
I think you just nailed it right there, John.
So there you go. You can be what you want to be on your time, but if you want a job, and most of the time when you're looking for work, people who have work to give you, a lot of these businesses are family businesses that they've had for generations, and they're proud of their business. And look at yourself and see if you think you would be a representative of that business to the community. If you don't look that way, change how you look and you might just find a job.
You know, that's one of the things
It's really
that I
true.
admire about John. And that over the years I've noticed John can preach on any subject. It doesn't matter what it is. He can preach on any
He's got
subject.
it nailed. That's right. That was
That's
cute.
right.
You ought to put
Yeah.
music to it.
Right.
Well, I don't know if it's a musical thing. If it is, I sent it to Tim to see if he wants to put a melody to it. It would have to be lighthearted. It does, it needs to be done in a lighthearted
Well, of course,
way
yeah.
instead of in a preachy way.
In a preachy way, it's got to be lighthearted.
But
Most people
pull up your
that-
pants and listen.
There's a whole lot of people that aren't even going to listen, because they don't care.
No, they don't care.
They don't care.
And in 15 more years, that might be what all of society looks like.
Yeah, and if you
they
really
might
want a
be
job,
telling us,
you keep going
take
back.
off your suit and take off and unbutton your shirt. So who knows where it's all going to go, but it's our turf right now.
So on with the show.
So on with the show. And what we'll do is be back right after these commercials, and we've got a great bunch of folks to be here and give you good information today about what's going to happen around here post Music City, post Bonnaroo. It's summertime. We'll be right back.
5 dealerships, 7 car brands, 1 big clearance sale.
Russell Barnett must make room for incoming summer shipments.
Save hundreds,
Even thousands.
from original list on all new and over 800 pre-owned vehicles. Every vehicle is marked down for immediate clearance.
No reasonable offer refused.
All credit applications will be accepted for immediate delivery.
Don't miss the big spring clearance sales event going on right now at the Russell Barnett dealerships, both Tullahoma and Winchester. And my question is, why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is our segment we refer to as Police Pointers. And joining us today from the Tullahoma Police Department, we're pleased to have Captain George Marsh, who is the interim police chief right now. And you were just telling me you didn't have to do anything out of the ordinary for Bonnaroo. That's probably a good thing for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because if everybody else is partying and you're the one that has to remain sane, it's not near as much fun as you might think it would be. So, anyway. And you've come today to talk about something, I guess, George.
We're going to talk about littering.
That's a good topic. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with the summertime being here, of course, you're going to see a lot more of the trash out. We have there's some organizations, thankfully, in our community that get together, sometimes several weeks apart, sometimes months apart, to pick up trash and litter along the sidewalk, in the ditches, sidewalks. On the roadways and stuff, so they do a good thing for us. But with them being weeks and months apart, it kind of builds up during that time.
Right. So there are probably some rules. You're really not supposed to throw.
No, there's a state law against littering. There's a city ordinance against littering. If the officers are instructed at the Tullahoma Police Department to write citations for persons littering, it's a $165 fine for you to litter. It just makes more sense to take your trash, put it in a proper receptacle, and not throw it out your windows. When you're throwing them out the windows, you're bothering the property owners, the businesses. Makes our town look dirty. for instance, a cigarette butt. One cigarette butt at the very least will take 18 months to disintegrate.
Right.
You know, it's not biodegradable. Sometimes it takes up to 10 years for that cigarette butt to disappear.
Right.
So those are unsightly things in our community that we try to keep a handle on.
And you kind of wonder what folks are thinking when they just throw something out the window, just dump it in the, I mean, who's supposed to pick that up? You know, whose responsibility is that?
You know, and it's your responsibility not to put it there to start with. But there are several different. If the people see something that's a very large item that needs to be removed from the roadways, we suggest that they call our local public works department. The number there is 454-1768, and it's Public Works. And if something huge, they'll come out and they'll take care of it.
Right.
We do follow up on some of this stuff if we can find enough to follow up on. A lot of times when people drop their trash, a lot of times there are times where it's by accident. They didn't know their trash had come out of their vehicle, and they have letters or something there with their addresses on it. We can find them, and for the most part, if we found that, the people have been very generous and have come back and picked it, got their own trash back.
Oh, no kidding. So you would call them up and tell them that you found their trash?
Or go pay them a visit.
Yeah.
And, talk to them for a moment. Now, a lot of people, there's a law on the books. You have to cover your trash if you're transporting it from one place to another. You're supposed to cover it unless it's already covered. A lot of people have the bed covers on their pickup trucks or stuff like that. Now, as long as you're not required to cover it if it does not blow out, if it cannot blow out, or if it's set in a position where it won't blow out or spill over, anything like that. But if not, you need to have it covered with a tarp to move out. That helps keep it from blowing around. Imagine driving down the roadway and someone in front of you has trash blowing out their window and it's getting on your windshield. It could cause a traffic problem.
Yeah, that could be a hazard, really, couldn't it? Yeah. And so is that a city ordinance that's on the books? That
Yes, it is.
That you have to cover it?
Well, the coverage comes from the state, the Tennessee Code Annotated.
I see.
Now, we can either take someone to a general sessions hearing with the litter controller, we can take them to city court. Our intention is just, we'll take you to city court for the most part, and we don't want to give you a record. We just want to get the mess cleaned up, and we try to educate more than we want to punish someone.
So do you see a lot of that happening in the city of Tullahoma?
Unfortunately, we do. But we keep a pretty good handle on it. Let's say we have some organizations around town that really do a good job of picking it up. You don't see a lot of it because if you notice, you're out driving around through Tullahoma, you'll see people every day out picking up trash. You'll see people running, the runners every morning out. You'll see them being down to pick up trash as they're running. So you got that very few that will go out and cause the trash spill on the roadways or the properties, but you have a very lot of people who will go out and pick it up too.
I used to be, one of the things that used to just totally irritate me when I was running the American Legion for many years is that after a busy night you'd go out in the parking lot and you'd find where people had just they'd pulled out their ashtray and just dumped it in the parking lot, or changed their baby's diaper and just threw it out into the parking lot. It was amazing stuff that you would.
Yes, and also with the cigarettes, even though it does take a long time for that to disappear from our environment, there also have the possibility of causing a fire when you toss that cigarette butt out the window. It can cause a lot of damage. A lot of damage.
And and for people that smoke, and I was not in the military, you might have been, but I worked for a hotel company in Atlanta that all the people, the major supervisors, were retired military, and they taught all of us that were smoking about field stripping your cigarettes, and I guess it was to strip all the tobacco out of it, and it'll kind of blows away.
And
but that filter,
you
put that in your pocket, So never forgot it. I never forgot it. So good information. I'm just surprised that. I guess I really wouldn't have thought that policing litter in the city would necessarily fall under the realm of the Tullahoma Police Department. But then on the other hand, who's going to do it?
As police officers, we enforce not only Tennessee Code Annotated state laws, but we enforce our city ordinances too. They're put there for a reason. It's not put there to harass or anything like that. It's put there for not only safety reasons, but for cleanliness also.
Right. And you mentioned the fine for littering was $165.
$165.
I'd say that, that really ought to be motivation enough to encourage someone to put the trash in the proper place.
Should be.
But anyway.
You throw your trash out, it's going to go somewhere. If it's not going on someone's property or whatever, it's going to go into the streams.
Right.
And you got plastic and you got papers and stuff that go down to your streams, but it's going to affect the wildlife in our area.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect your fishing and stuff like that. So it has a lot of ramifications for me.
Sure it does, and and you may not think of that. Everybody may not think of that, but somebody's got to deal with that sort of thing. I am totally impressed with some. It seems that so much of what happens in this town ultimately comes back and touches the Tullahoma Police Department some way or another. I mean,
it does seem like that.
It really does. And I've got, because we do news, and if we had something major happen, we'd like to know about it. But there's a scanner that sits on my desk in my office, and I'm thinking, these poor guys, they got to deal with everything. The guy gets into it with his wife, and all of a sudden it's their problem. If someone has a problem with custody of their children or something like that, you guys ultimately end up dealing with that on the front end, at least. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. I know this is not what you do, and we talked about it, I believe, off camera one day, but somebody called in one time, and there was a rattlesnake on their back porch. And some police officer went out there and dealt with that.
Yes. Anything from skunks to possums to snakes. And we deal with it.
Yeah. I asked Chief Blackwell about that one time, and he said, well, he personally was terrified of snakes, but that he had a few people on the police force that really wasn't scared of them.
Right. Yeah, we've got a few.
That would do that. So. Are you, George?
I respect them. I'm not scared of them. I respect them.
Right.
I've had to remove several snakes from actually out of people's washing machines.
Oh my goodness!
In their kitchens, coming out from under sinks, there's been several we've had to remove.
Now see, that is the kind of thing you would never think of that the Tullahoma Police Department would have to deal with, but they do deal with that, And there's some laws, I think, governing snakes. You can't just go out here hunting them down.
No, you can't. You can't kill them. You're not supposed to kill them.
Right.
So and there's a lot to that. I haven't studied up on every bit of that, but. We will not kill them. We will try to move them to a
Well, I did a story
place.
on that one time, and actually, you can't kill them unless they're poisonous, and I'm not sure how we're supposed to know that as a layman, but
sometimes it might be too late if you
right. But if they are poisonous and they're threatening your property, or your pets or yourself or something like
your
that.
Livestock.
Yeah, your livestock.
Mm-hmm.
You are allowed to shoot them or kill them, but I'm not sure how that works. There's an ordinance, the city ordinance prohibits you probably from firing your weapon in the city limits.
Right. Yes, there is.
So you may have a little conflict there.
Right. But the TWRA is the best place to get in contact. You get in touch with TWRA, they can let you. They can actually give you some pointers on how to keep the snakes and stuff away from your property.
No kidding.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I know this particular instance, the police officer, it was a poisonous snake. He recognized it as such, and did contact the TWRA. And the circumstances involved here, he had to kill the snake, but because I guess people don't want to be living with a rattlesnake in their front yard anyway. Okay, just more information about what goes on at the Tullahoma Police Department that you may not even think of, folks out there. But great job, George, and all the things you guys do.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more Living Right After this.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
This past weekend, Philip Scoggins was all over Bonnaroo checking out nonprofit organizations, and it's so important for us to recognize what a great service they do to our community. We have some footage on this.
My name is Hannah Scoggins, and I'm here with Brian from the Mountain Goat Trail. Can you tell me why you're here?
We're here promoting Mountain Goat Trail up on Monte Eagle Mountain, which is a Rails to Trails project looking to eventually connect Cowan, Tennessee with Palmer, Tennessee, which is about 40 miles. And we have 5 miles complete right now. Started construction in the Tracy City section to start connecting Monte Eagle to Tracy City. So we'll go from Suwanee to Tracy City hopefully sometime in 2019.
Okay.
And we're also here doing a book drive for our friends in Nashville, Ride for Reading. They are a nonprofit that delivers children's books to Title I schools on bicycles. And so we're going to do a book drive on the mountain when the trail opens to Tracy City, and we're going to take these books with us.
Hi, I'm Hannah Scoggins, and I'm here with Natalie today with Keep Coffee County Beautiful. Tell me, what is Keep Coffee County Beautiful?
Keep Coffee County Beautiful is a place where we're just looking to make the world a better place. We're here doing non-profit recycled art. Like today we're going to be at the Raider Academy teaching kids recycled art.
Cool.
We're handing out pocket ashtrays with these things right here. It's like don't flick it, stick it. So the people at Bonner aren't throwing their cigarette butts on the ground. They're just putting them in here, and it's like a portable ashtray, so you don't have to throw them on the ground.
Hi, Chris. Well, what are you doing with Shelterbox?
Hi, so we're volunteering for Shelterbox to raise awareness about our international disaster relief efforts, which are made possible by an enormous volunteer network. And so we're looking to secure more volunteers around the world, as well as our Off the Grid campaign, which is co-sponsored by Bonnaroo, which challenges attendees to go off the grid for 24 hours when they get back home from the festival. That means no power, no social media, nothing with an on switch. And we have a life-size pledge board in the tent that they can sign that declares that they're going to go off the grid for 24 hours and gain a better understanding of what a family that's been displaced after a disaster goes through, as well as raising general awareness for the organization.
Okay, cool. So tell me about the tent.
The tent's really cool. Shelterbox sends tented shelter around the world to families that have been displaced by natural disaster or conflict situations. So this is our family relief tent, which stays dry in up to 6 inches of standing water, and it'll stay upright in 70-mile-an-hour winds. In addition to the tent, we provide critical aid items like blankets, bed sheets, solar lights, water filters, mosquito netting, an activity packet for kids. And all of that aid is customized to meet the needs of the beneficiaries for every single disaster. We understand that every disaster is different, every community is different, and therefore their needs and the aid that we need to provide are going to differ depending on the location and the nature of the disaster. But it's important to understand that all of this is funded through private donation, right? We don't accept any government funding, and the bulk of the work is carried out by volunteers. So we have a very lean organization doing an enormous amount of work. Last year we provided aid to 160,000 people, and we're looking to ramp up our work to provide aid to 1 million people a year by the year 2025. And with the frequency and intensity of disasters happening around the world, that's going to be a very necessary service.
Hi, we're with the Tullahoma Arts Center, and what we're doing is we're teaching Bonnaroo how to make these recycled beads into necklaces. They're made from newspaper clippings and magazine clippings and everything. It's more of a recycle project. And then for these are baskets that we taught in the academy that's across the way, and they're made out of newspaper as well, and it's another recycled project. And then our main focus for while we're out here is this community quilt we have. It's being donated to 6 nonprofit organizations around the local area, and they're going to be raffling it off or auctioning it off for money to the organization.
Awesome. So we're called To Write Love on Our Arms. We're a nonprofit, and we're here to present hope and provide help for people struggling with addiction, depression, self-injury, suicide, any kind of mental health issue. What we're doing here this weekend is a little interactive project. We're doing a long-term conversation over the course of the weekend. We're asking everyone to come in, write down the one thing that they really wish they could say, whether it's to a friend or family member, to a past version of themselves, anything they need to get off their chest. Write it down, hang it on the wall, and then the second part of the weekend, we want you to come back to look around and find the one thing you really needed to hear, something that speaks to you, and take it home with you. So we like to connect with you guys at Bonnaroo, and our goal is that if you can connect with someone at this huge festival anonymously, then hopefully when you go home you can find that connection within your own community in a more natural and intentional way. And we love Bonnaroo particularly because the community vibe is so strong here, and people are so stoked, and they're really people really participate at Bonnaroo, and everyone, they walk by and they want to be a part and they want to help out. And I see, I had a 5-year-old yesterday come in and write a note to a stranger, and I see, people struggling, people whose parents or siblings or any loved ones are struggling, and it's just really special to see these connections and to see them build these bridges across the whole weekend.
We're the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we're so excited to be at Bonnaroo because, of course, Bonnaroo is full of lots of passionate and engaged young people. And so we want to make sure that people know about the hate that's in their state so that they can do something about it. Behind me is a map that we're busy constructing that currently has signatures from almost every state. And what we're asking people to do is to sign this map to say that they are anti-hate group. And as you may know, there are 954 hate groups in the country currently this year. So our hope is that by the end of the weekend, we'll have more than 954 signatures to counteract that hate. One of our biggest issue areas, of course, is hate and extremism, and that's really what we're focusing on this weekend. But we also work on children's rights, economic justice, criminal justice reform, LGBT rights, and immigration rights. So we do a lot, and part of why we do so much is because that's all intersecting with hate, especially in the Deep South where we operate. So part of what we're here doing is letting people know about what's local to them. What we also want people to take away is the fact that hate is national and all of these issues intersect. So we're also here to represent our Teaching Tolerance program, which does the really important work of getting in schools to talk to young people about tolerance and about making sure that we don't continue to perpetuate the hate that we have in the country. But of course, here at Bonnaroo, we're so excited to talk to people who are a little bit older, not in K-12 classrooms, but are in college or out of college and are able to really make a difference in their communities. So it's been awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks so much.
The day the Lord created hope could be the same day He created spring.
Springtime's here. It's a good time to get our air conditioners checked out before those hot summer days get here. We've been here for a little over 35 years. It's been our pleasure to serve our community. We'd like to thank you for Tullahoma's finest, and from all of us to all of you.
Thank you!
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. I have a few 2017s left that have to go right now. Kia Forte, $14,994. Kia Optima, $19,971. And my question is, why buy your next Kia anywhere else?
Welcome back. I'm here with Joyce Norton, and we're going to talk about jobs in the Middle Tennessee region, sort of. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. We're having a job fair this Thursday here at the Tullahoma Business Center at 414 Wilson Avenue.
In the banquet hall.
In the banquet hall. It will run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's open to the public, so everyone could come. We like to think of it as a mini interviews, because there's going to be approximately 22 employers.
That's fabulous.
We'll also have 5 of our partners, which will be vocational rehabilitation, adult education, Job Corps will be there, Montlow State Community College will be there, the Tennessee College of Applied Technology from Shelbyville will be there.
So that people know for sure how to get in, do they come in the back door of this building, or do they come in the front door?
Come in the front door.
And then come down the hall.
Come down the hallway. We will have someone before you get into the job fair. We ask that you go on our website, jobsfortn.gov, get registered as a job seeker, and then we will have you sign in, and then you're good to go. Just go from table to table.
When they sign in to be a job seeker, are they going to have paperwork there when they show up, or they just sign in order to get in here?
They'll just be signing in so we can keep an account of how many we have.
If there's somebody out there that doesn't have internet accessibility, are they able to come anyway?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll have an iPad out there, and people will just either write their names down on a piece of paper and things like that, some quick information. Then we will put it in. That's just so we can have an account of how many actually come in.
And you said you had how many people that were looking?
We have 22 employers.
22 employers looking for
people to hire.
People to hire. And so this is a great opportunity if you need a job, or maybe you want to change jobs even.
Right. It's and it'll be employers from Lincoln County, Bedford County, Coffee County, Warren County, Franklin County. Tried to get employers from every county in the surrounding area. Of course, Coffee County too.
Yeah, Coffee County. I think that's fabulous. You wouldn't happen to know how many jobs are open, and it's just a random number, I guess. Some places probably need more employees than others.
Right. And the majority of these are manufacturing, assembly. There is a healthcare company coming. So there's also a truck driving company that's looking for truck drivers. So there's try to get a wide variety. They all have jobs posted in jobsfortn.gov, our website. So that means that you can go online actually right now and go ahead and apply for them
and research different jobs.
And research different jobs. Make sure when you come Thursday to bring many resumes so that you can give them to employers.
I think that's important. A lot of people don't think that they need a resume in order to get a job, but that is one of the most important things. And so some people are not real good at writing a resume.
Right.
Do you have any suggestions on that?
It's always good. Now, like I suggest, our website, jobsfortn.gov, you can go there once you register as a job seeker. Then there is on your menu a resume builder. So it will walk you through the steps of building a resume. Your resume title will be the job that you're applying for. And it just migrates information, your name, your address, and all that things onto it. So it's a printable resume you can print out. If you want to, bring it to the Career Center or the American Job Center, and we'll make some copies for you to bring down to the job fair.
And my guess would be, I haven't written a resume lately, but they probably want your name, your address, your age, and then former employments that you have had. Stuff like that. Is
we
that
don't
important?
do age. Just your name. Your name. Okay. If you want to put a cell phone number down and an email address, that's good.
So it doesn't matter what age.
No.
You can come and seek a job.
You just want to put go back to the last 10 years of your employment. If you've been there for a long time, yeah, you want to go back a little bit farther. If you have high school or GED, don't put the years that you graduated, just that you have it.
Just the fact that you have a GED, or if you have any college, you probably
and things like that.
You want to list that.
Military, put down if you were honorably discharged. You know what branch you served in, years and things like that. Pretty much no, because when they see you, they're going to know, or when you do the application and actually apply for the job, they may ask you that.
They may ask some questions.
You don't want to put anything on your resume that's going to age you, date you.
Okay.
Like I graduated in 1975, so, that they're going to go, well, you're really old now.
Right. So what they're looking for is
your
employees with maybe some experience, and I think sometimes that you are not going to have experience.
Right.
But you still keep seeking a job, and you get it. That's the way you get experience, is to keep trying to get a job.
Right, and if you don't have a lot of experience, if you do volunteer work, things like that, or you belong to organizations that do volunteer work, put those down too, because that gives way to your character that you're willing to volunteer
I'm glad you said that.
and help other people.
Yeah. To me, that makes a big difference.
Right.
If I were hiring somebody, if they're willing to help and be giving people.
Right, and that's good
important.
if they don't have a lot of experience. The fact that they volunteer means that they're putting themselves out there, to help others that are less fortunate.
Let's tell them again exactly where this place is. A lot of people may not know. This is on, is this?
414 Wilson Avenue.
Wilson Avenue, and if you happen to know where the Coker building is, or what is Hardee's over there?
Across the street from Wendy's.
Wendy's, I'm sorry, excuse me. Y'all just got a free commercial. But anyway, it's easy to find.
Right, it is.
This is the Markham building.
The Markham building, and
it's in the banquet hall.
Yes,
and
took the words right out of my mouth.
And they're supposed to show up if they're interested at, what was the time?
The time is 10 a.m. The doors open at 10 a.m. to the public, and they will be closed.
And you know what?
2.
If I really wanted a job, I'd be here probably about 9:30 and get myself in the front of the line.
Right. And if you're here and it's 2 o'clock, we don't push you out. We'll, go through and talk to everybody.
Okay. Because honestly, when a lot of people are involved, the time goes really fast.
Right.
Joyce, I got to tell you, this is a fabulous thing you're doing, and be sure to note that website, folks.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And good luck with the job fair.
All right.
We'll be back.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing. Or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
everyone. I'm John Rickman.
And I'm Pat Welch, and here today with Conversation with John and Pat, segment 29, It Shall Be Fine.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Everybody out there, be kind.
John, we had to really stretch last segment to somehow tie your song to the program. Will it be another challenge today?
It's hard to learn a song for everything that we talk about. So let's just like two shows, the music show and then the talk.
And it doesn't necessarily have to tie.
No,
I understand.
No. I'm going to do one, Pat. You've never heard this. John Gray's never heard it. People out there have never heard it because I've wrote it years ago, and that's where it stayed, just in my little mind. And if I can do it right, I think it's a cute little song.
Okay.
We'll find out. You know, every song in Chapel Hill and Marshall County is about an animal. This is about a flogging rooster. I'm so proud I was raised up in the country. Living on the farm's one thing I don't regret. I made friends with the billy goat, the bull, and the mule, but I ain't figured out that flogging rooster yet. I'd be out in the hen house gathering up the eggs when that flogging rooster'd take me by surprise. He would fly down on my head with wings a-flapping, pecking at me, trying his best to spur out both my eyes. When I heard that rooster crow, it was like a battle cry. He'd strut around just sticking out his chest. And what time he wasn't fighting, he'd chase chickens through the barnyard. But I do believe that he liked fighting best. I remember the frustrations of looking out the back door and the games that flogging rooster used to play. I'd be needing in the outhouse, but I dare not take a step with that flogging rooster standing in the way. He'd lost nearly all his feathers from 1,000,000 different fights, the meanest little bird I ever knew. I told my mama if she'd catch it, I'd use my little hatchet and we could dine on flogging rooster stew. When I heard that rooster crow, it was like a battle cry. Strut around just sticking out his chest. And what time he wasn't fighting, he'd chase chickens through the barnyard. But I do believe that he liked fighting best.
I'm not too sure why in the world you've buried that in the recess of your mind, John. That's a great song.
Well, sometimes you just don't think about the song, and maybe someday I'll start making that a part of our repertoire. You know, Jimmy, Phil, and I, us two and him, we don't use big words for our song list. But I think repertoire...
And one of those, I can understand why.
We don't want to overdo, you know...
Well,
making it more than it should be.
You gave me a lot more of a segue this time than you did the previous segment, John. Yeah, that's one of my good friends from playing golf is Kenny Pack, and if you get him riled up enough, he's like a flogging rooster. So that goes right into it. We'll go right into a conversation about the Packs. And this week, I don't know if you noticed, John, but there was a really, really nice article in the Nashville Tennessean about the Mr. Bill Pack and his 5 sons and what they've meant in football officiating, and also they did a lot of softball and basketball officiating, but primarily they're known for the football. And I think Philip's got a picture of Mr. Bill Pack Sr. He was raised in Tullahoma, was a great salesman for Wilson Golf Equipment, and he was a really, really good man. And I've been corrected again. He was McGregor Golf Equipment.
If you come prepared, Pat,
I should have done better.
Maybe would know that.
Yeah, let's see if we can't do. Well, I'll try not to mess up any more on this one. That's so bad. Mr. Pack went in the service at World War II and met Ms. Pack, I believe, at some USO festivities in New Jersey, and brought her to town and had 6 children. The first 5 were all boys. All of them were good athletes. And Mr. Pack started the refereeing some, I think, while he was still in high school, and as soon as he got back from the war, he was really involved in refereeing. And when I would begin to really know him, would have been the late 70s, I was coaching at Battle Ground Academy, and Mr. Pack was just almost legendary at that time, and he'd been calling for several decades, and some young feisty guy in his 20s or 30s that thought he knew everything about football, and he'd coached in 100 football games or something. Well, just being around Mr. Pack, you knew you need to keep your mouth shut. Mr. Pack had refereed for 5 decades, and he had such a great demeanor. He was absolutely easygoing, completely in control, and at some of the most hated times of a ball game where there might be a questionable call or something, he just could put you completely at ease, or maybe you wish you weren't at ease, but he had such a, and his rulings were final, you know, and nobody questioned. He didn't escalate a situation. He was just so calm.
He was a gentleman.
He really was.
Really was.
He's been elected, and his son Kenny has been elected to the state association, the TSSAA, their Hall of Fames, and Mr. Pack's been inducted in the National High School Association Hall of Fame for his contributions to refereeing. And Kenny and I think some of his other brothers have called OVC games, Ohio Valley Conference games. Yeah. Kenny for a long time was an official there, and they called with some really top-notch officials that were from Middle Tennessee, Burl Crowell, Gabby Street, those kind of people. And they would have called SEC games and SEC basketball games, right. and the stories that Kenny could tell about refereeing trips, and the stories that those guys came along were pretty incredible. Show that that's the Mr. Pack and his 5 sons called at least 2 games that I know of together, and that I don't think has ever been done ever in U.S. high school history. And let me see if I can identify the ones on the 2 on the far right that look similar, or the reason why they look similar, they're identical twins, Bob and Dick Pack. Bob lives in Lebanon, and a lot of the interview from the Tennessean was conducted with him. And Dick is next from the right, second from the right. He lives in Tullahoma now. And then next, coming from the right again, is Pat, who's the youngest of those 5 brothers. And then Mr. Pack there, of course. And then Bill, or Billy, or Bill Jr., lives in Chattanooga. And then on the far side is Kenny, our golfing buddy, and akin to the Flogging Rooster. And we were so fortunate to have had them in Tullahoma, and to be honest, the state is fortunate to have them refereeing. I think every one of those boys has called at least one state final football game, and several of them have called several of those.
Jenny, the daughter, is a closing agent. She access title here in town, right. And she's a great closing agent, right. Too. So
anybody
let's give her a little credit.
Yeah, everybody is a fine. Well, she probably can referee between the agents and the purchaser and so forth.
Good people.
That's right.
Mr. Pack used to work on scoreboards too. I remember having him over at East years ago.
He did.
A few times along the way, and we had a scoreboard problem. He would work on that. He was a man of many talents, and but we're going to have to wind up.
He was a consummate salesman, John, calm, just like he was refereeing, and he sold for McGregor.
What I like your little story about him one time having a buyer for an answer putter.
He bought a putter from me, and I thought I'd made $1 million, and he had that thing sold for about twice that much in 48 hours, and I'd rather not talk about that anymore, John. And that's the end of segment 29. It was fine.
It was fine.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and we have our good friend from Lynchburg, Tennessee here this morning, Mr. Woody Bedford, the ambassador, and he brought Seymour with him. That's Seymour Lynchburg, isn't it?
Now, that's Seymour Lynchburg, and he has already got a designation now. He is the Lynchburg ambassador at large.
He's not the Lynchburg ambassador at small?
No, at large.
At large, okay.
Yeah, he makes a large impression.
He does make a large impression. What, there's always so much going on down there, but you kind of keep us posted on the special events and things, because, I mean, there's activity down there every day. Particularly this time of year with tours and tourists and everything going on, but there's specific things that happen throughout the year that are big promotions and that, really, really cool things happen, and you're here to give us a clue, aren't you?
Yes, sir. We've been practicing this. You and I were speaking earlier, but we've been practicing this, and we think that the 56th time we're going to get it right.
There you go. There you go.
And we're talking about Frontier Days in Lynchburg. That is 3 nights and 1 day of fabulous family fun. We're going to be there June 21st, 2nd, and 23rd. The 21st, we'll start off about 5 p.m., music on the square. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, there's music on the square. Friday and Saturday night, there'll be vendors. All day Saturday, there's different stuff going on. We've got a really good carnival this year. And we've got new pony rides, new pet and zoo. Of course, I'll be there with the horse and buggy rides.
And Seymour.
And yeah, Seymour will be riding around. And it's, even though we make one of the world's most famous adult beverages in town, when Lynchburg puts their name on it, it's family orientated, and this is family dance. I know shootings are in the news now, but let's have some fun. River Chase Posse is going to put on a shootout like they do.
All right.
Old time. And after that, we're going to have what we call a kids' gold rush. We're going to put a blanket in the middle of the street. We're going to put about $50 worth change in there and turn them loose.
I love it.
It's fabulous. We've got the crowning of the Queen. We've got the Frontier Days Queen. The Chamber has an auction.
Right.
Lots of neat stuff from gravel to autograph posters from the Grand Ole Opry.
It amazes me in these auctions, and we've been doing auctions, different clubs and groups and everything. One of the most sought after things at an auction is gravel. You would have never thought that gravel would be one of the big ticket items at an auction.
I'm smiling because we got a load of gravel, and I guarantee you it ain't going cheap.
No, it won't go cheap.
I got it the last 2 years. It ain't going cheap.
It ain't going cheap.
Then I got almost 2/10 of a mile of driveway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. Will there be a lot of Frontier Days? You think of the Frontier, and of course Lynchburg is very historied in its existence and what's happened down there. Will there be a lot of people in period dress?
Just the River Chase posse, and I think there'll be some dancers. We've got some clogging. We've got some different dance groups that'll be around in period dress, but not the big.
But if somebody wanted to, they wanted to come dressed up and like Davy Crockett or something like that, they'd be welcome to do that.
There's an opportunity on Saturday morning, about 8:15 to 9 o'clock. You can register your baby, that's 4 and under, and have them in period dress for the baby contest. And I want to caveat, this is a old-fashioned baby contest. We pick and we find about 3 grandmothers to be the judges. And as soon as the judging is over, we escort them out of town.
Yeah, for their safety, their personal safety.
It's all fun.
Right.
It's really neat, and the baby contest is just so interesting to watch. As long as I'm not a judge.
Right, but there will be a winner.
Oh, there will be a winner.
Everybody doesn't get a participation trophy. There's going to be a winner.
There's going to be a winner.
All right. Very good.
In 2 or 3 categories, there's going to be a winner. And then now everybody getting a participation trophy is the cutest goat and dog contest.
Oh, goat and dog.
Cutest goat and dog contest.
The goats are out, Peggy.
Hey,
will there be some of those little bitty goats down there? I've seen a bunch of pictures of these.
The cutest goat and dog contest, I mean, they're usually kids, and they're dressed up, and the owners are dressed up.
That's great.
And
I love it.
The cutest goat contest. And we're talking about all this stuff. I want to be sure we understand. LynchburgTN.com. Here in the next few days, the schedule will show up on LynchburgTN.com. If you got questions, it's LynchburgTN.com. Or if you're into Facebook, it's Metro Lynchburg Moore County Chamber of Commerce. By the time you type in Metro Lynchburg Moore, we come to the top.
Right.
If you don't type in, you just type in Metro Lynchburg, you got to figure out which one's got a distillery. So start typing Moore, we pop to the top. Those 2 places, LynchburgTN.com and Facebook, Metro Lynchburg Moore. Schedules will show up, and you can take a look at all. And all of this, and we got another new one this year, and I'm not sure all the details how it's worked, but you can check. The library has a story scroll, and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. You find parts of the story, and then when you complete the trail, if you will, and get it, and the child collects all of the points or marks, they get a book.
Well, that's just, I mean,
the story, they kind of do the story and then they get the book. So
that's correct.
That's really interesting. We're looking forward to that. The cultural art in the library, jams, jellies, sewing. We're going to have street dances, the Gold Rush. One of my other ones is Saturday afternoon, about 1 to 3. The fire department is going to have fire hose training for the kids.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. My first thought was bring a towel.
Yeah.
My second thought is bring the kid a second outfit.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I want to ask one.
All of this is family fun.
And it's free.
And The carnival cost.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and the rides cost, but most of
it's free. Now,
the River Chase Posse, the dancing.
The most important question of all is the guy who grills the corn going to be there?
I think there's going to be a corn guy there.
That, folks, if you've not had grilled corn where they take the shuck and grill it to where the kernels are kind of dark and they've got big pats of butter, you can just roll it in, and then every kind of thing from hot sauce, shake to, oh, Lord. It's wonderful.
All kinds of food. There's several food vendors both down in the carnival part of the park, plus up around the square. We've got the different vendors for the different stuff
plus that the regular
you can buy.
stores that sell
plus
food there
all
the time.
The regular stores are open.
Ken Fly's place and the Barrel House and all the different places will be open.
The winery and the second oldest distillery in Lynchburg.
There you go.
They'll both be open.
Very good.
We now have another distillery.
Very good.
Vilma's, the new candy store. The candy's changed its name. Vilma's will be open, and she's. They got truffles. You got to come.
They got truffles. I got trouble, and they got truffles.
Yeah.
If I eat too many truffles, then I got trouble.
But we've got lots of things. Lynchburg, we're somewhat the same, but we're always changing. There's always movement. Come visit. There's wonderful places to eat.
There you go.
Things to do, and if nothing else, just sit back with a milkshake from Lee. And or an ice cream and watch tourists go by.
And get in the middle and holler, "Hey, Woody! Come here, Woody!" And Woody will show up. I guarantee you with Seymour.
Me and a horse.
Got to go, buddy. Hey. Thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you. Go to Lynchburg.
LynchburgTN.com.
There you go. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paintworks at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senior. See? Martin Senior. Right there. Martin Senior at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
good morning, all you wonderful people in TV land. Thank you, camera lady and camera gentleman, for putting a real good, sharp picture on the screen. And we hope that you're having a good day. And speaking of South Jackson Coast Country, wow, that's a wonderful show and production that we all want to see because it brings back a lot of memories, and not only for this part of the show, but South Jackson Civic Center, that's such a wonderful part of the Tullahoma history. And not only that part of the history and the show, but the music that comes with it, which brings us to our thought for the day, and that is music in Tullahoma. You know, when we were in grade school, in the first and second grade, we had those little triangles on a string that we'd beat, and that was part of our music lessons that day that got us started. And a few folks even took piano lessons back then. And speaking of piano, there was a group of ladies here in Tullahoma for many years that were wonderful musicians and could play the piano real well. And they organized, and it was one of the oldest and longest standing civic type organizations in Tullahoma. It was a music club. And I remember Ms. Rebecca Graham Thompson was active and a leader in the music club for many, many years, and Blanche Cook that served as organist for several churches here in Tullahoma. And the music that was so wonderful, especially on holiday seasons like the Christmas season, and they had music programs that was such a wonderful time, and the Christmas music choir for many, many years that performed at South Jackson. That was such a great thing. And you know, there are other music groups. For example, I mentioned this several months ago, that the American Legion Post 43 had the first marching band in Middle Tennessee. I think Nashville Post 5 had a band, but Tullahoma Legion Band was a wonderful group. They went to state conventions and they performed at national conventions, and in the early 30s came home with the national championship because they were such great musicians and performed really, really well, and were part of the music culture in Tullahoma. Then, you know, in 1939, our good friend Tut Parham, that had been real active in the American Legion Band, organized a group that later became Tullahoma High School marching and concert band. Now they have, the current band, I think, has more color bearers than in the Tullahoma marching band than we had in the whole band. There were 28 of us in the band. There were 7 rows and 4 abreast, and that 28 group could really, what they didn't make up in quality, they made up in volume, because they could really didn't have but one bass horn, had an alto and a baritone, and 3 or 4 clarinets, 3 or 4 saxophones, and several trumpet players, and some trombones. And I wanted to play football, but I wasn't big enough, so they said, hey, we need you in the band. And they made me play the bass drum that weighed 20 pounds more than I did, but we had a wonderful time marching and making racket. And you know, speaking of the American Legion Band, when they didn't perform downtown on Sunday afternoons in the big portable platform, they performed at the baseball games up at Wade Field in the afternoons, Sunday afternoons, and people came a lot of times just to hear the music as well as watch the ball game, of course. But it was great, and time went on, and I remember the barbershop quartets here in Tullahoma that was so popular for many, many years, and they performed regularly. And the Lions Club had the Lions Minstrels for a number of years. It had a lot of real good music in it, and they were not only real funny, but they were entertaining, and they brought a lot of culture and a lot of friends that got to perform. That were not really artists, but they loved to share whatever talent they had in the way of music with the community, and they were just wonderful. And the Paul Powell Dulcimer Association, organized 10, 12 years ago, has meant a lot to Tullahoma and the area here, because people have come from Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Kentucky, all over to the annual Paul Powell Dulcimer weekend, and they performed, and that music is real good too. And some of them have performed on Tullahoma Living here with the senior citizens group. They share that music, and the senior citizens have music programs within their activities. It means a lot. Now, two of the great groups that have performed and are practicing already, the Tullahoma High School Marching Band that has performed so well. I would guess they have 150 probably in the band now, that's directed by Mr. Coleman and his wife, and they do such a wonderful job. And their themes in recent years have been outstanding, with the big portable things that they've put on for the halftime shows have been so wonderful and entertaining. And not only are those band players, they are musicians, and they are really good, and some of them have gone on to lead bands, high school bands themselves, and gotten their degrees in music, which means so much to them. And then the Aristocats, the high school chorus that's been such a wonderful part of the music department for so many years, and they are outstanding. They've been to many contests through the years, and have won many trophies for their outstanding service. And they're really wonderful group, the Tullahoma High School Aristocats. And now with the DVDs and CDs and that sort of thing, it's a lot easier to share that music and make it available to everybody. And we just sure hope you have enjoyed the music through the years. We look forward to a lot more of it, and we thank you for watching. And remember, this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we hope you have a real good day.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community, because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, Peggy, we're back. You was writing the South Jackson Goes Country show.
Exactly, it's written, it's done.
There's
I'm
a
ready
camp,
to put
there's
it on.
a youth camp at South Jackson this week and next week.
Yes.
Drama camp is down there.
The MAC in Manchester is putting on a great play with Samantha Waters in it.
All right. So things are happening, but what we're going to do is take advantage of our folks going to Bonnaroo. We're going to close the show with St. Paul and the Broken Bones. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Bonnaroo.